Trying to understand why Sherry got to where she did gave me an in. There are so many whats in this story, and they are all so tempting and bizarre. There are serpent seed lines, hollow planets where aliens hide, evil cabals at every level of government trying to kill a housewife in eastern Ohio. When it comes to Sherry Schreiner's career, it's hard not to get distracted and enumerate the fantastical. The whys and hows of Sherry's ministry and the lives it crushed force us to squint against the sun of her audacity to even detect them. When we do, though, we'll have a better picture of how it got so bright. If Sherry had a gift, it was her ability to convince people of the war Lucifer raged against her, personally, her whole life. It makes it tough to say with any confidence what is true about her origin story and what she reversed engineered to fit her myth and her vanity. Most of Sherry's past is courtesy of Sherry herself, and it's all her followers know. By tracing Sherry's claims between her spiritual dimension and real life, I felt something of a rising anger, both at good people's astounding credulity and at Sherry's ability to exploit it without shame or mercy. For Kelly, the hook was orgone, a mystical energy that was a gift from God. Orgone became a placebo that kept Kelly's desperation, loneliness, and, most important, demons at bay. Orgone would power Sherry beyond anything she could have dreamed. It helped her grow an empire capable of crushing individuals and ruining families. But Sherry already had cultivated her reputation as a prophet before she stole her orgone theories. In fact, Kelly was still in grade school when Sherry lit upon the Bible Code as a key to unearned wealth. Journalist Michael Drosnin's book, The Bible Code, was a pseudo-academic work demonstrating that the, quote, Jewish books of the Bible, meaning the Torah, could be used to reveal the future. It was based on a real scientific project wherein the Torah was laid out like a giant word find, and investigators chose random patterns, say the third letter on every fourth page, or something like that. To their shock, names like Kennedy and Hitler appeared. Criticism of the project reminded the would-be prophets that any long work produced the same effect. But Drosnin ran with the debunked theory, and even added his own twist. As an atheist, Drosnin didn't believe that God wrote the Bible. In his view, the book likely was authored by time-traveling aliens who left clues about our history for us to discover. It's a little amazing that an advanced species would take time to jot down, say, the list of Adam's descendants or prohibitions against homosexuality. Still, I like his theory because it explains why we don't see the names and places involved with major events until after they happen. But people who took the Bible Code seriously took the hidden messages as prescriptive. Sherry said God told her to buy the Bible Code computer program in 2001. I would guess she bought it on September 12, 2001. We know the events around the 9/11 attacks launched thousands of would-be prophets. The attacks begat the Truther movement, so named for the people who wanted to know the real truth about who was behind it all, which coalesced from far-flung corners of the internet before the fires in Lower Manhattan were out. The events broke some people. I think we all know people who emerged from the fall of 2001 meaner and more afraid. By embracing the Truther movement, weak-minded people didn't have to deal with the complexities of cultural and geopolitical change. America still was invincible to attack by external forces, but the deep state had become too powerful. One dominant political message was, everything has changed. Another was, we need to get back to normal. I think that opened a rational disconnect for people and dragged religious thinking deeper into secular life. The attack spread paranoia on a mass scale. It was a disease from which not everyone would recover. The Truthers made 9/11 their cornerstone. They grabbed onto that fear and held it fast as if to their faith. Then it became their faith. Sherry Schreiner was a participant in this emerging religion and also a beneficiary of it. The early Truther movement attracted every stripe of spiritual practice across racial and cultural divides, and even included atheists. It reflected a bizarro, utopian America. The only requirement for inclusion in the group was the confidence that all government information is a lie aimed at furthering a secret agenda. The internet facilitated a new culture where truthers could set aside their petty religious, ethnic, and racial differences and get to work proving that the 9/11 attacks were an inside job.